Struggling a lot today. I was having, I think I know exactly why I was having issues. I was having issues just because a lot of stuff was being streamed on here. There was video streaming otherwise. And yeah. See if this is the right one. So, didn't mean to cut you off there real quick. Yep, we're back. I was having streaming issues. That's exactly what was happening. So, for whatever reason, it wasn't working for me. And I don't know why. There we go. Yeah, it's still skipping frames. Unreal. Maybe I should take out. All right. So, do I see Dean Ambrose ever coming back? Maybe, if he decides not to go to AEW. It's all depending on what he wants to do. Really. I'm hoping doing this stuff on my phone will help the stream quality. Taha Wakid? Hi from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Oh, how's everything going? Love your WTC matches. Thank you very much. I'm hoping for more coming soon. Need to talk with Aaron about getting Season 7 up. I'm getting kind of antsy. Getting a little bit antsy on getting that started. Mr. Anderson, do you see Shayna Baszler coming up soon to challenge Becky Lynch? Possibly after SummerSlam. I think Shayna is dominating NXT in a way that we haven't seen since Asuka. And quite frankly, she needs that. Because Shayna is probably what Ronda Rousey should have been. But Shayna's just at league of her own right now. And I don't think there's anybody to touch her. But we'll see what happens. I mean, they could just take it from her at the next takeover. I don't know. They could take it away from her at an NXT taping. For all we know, it could just be like one of those surprise deals. 42nd Street Matthew. Greg, were you aware of the video of the match you ref between Tory and Flowers and the student union back in the day? It was on Facebook. I'll send it to you. Hilarious stuff. Please do. Because if you have that, yeah. If it's long enough, I could do a sarcastic commentary and throw that on my channel. I completely forgot about that, to be honest. Wow. Yeah, I completely forgot about even doing that. That's been over 10 years ago now. Mike D, do you think CM Punk would ever accept a WWE Hall of Fame induction if Vince asked him? Not an immediate one. It would probably be like... Thing is, CM Punk will eventually go back to WWE, I think. Probably not for another at least 5 years. Will he even come close to talking to WWE? But I don't know. It'd be nice if... I don't get why all the hostility has to carry over and be held onto for so long. Life is so short. Why hold grudges? You know what I mean? Unless it's a sports team. But, hey. 42nd Street Matthew. That would be great. It's golden. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's a 5-star Matt classic. Oh, boy. I think I'm in top chat again. Am I not? Yep. My thoughts are below. I'll always enjoy your streams, Greg. Just wondering if you agree that Drew McIntyre is slightly overrated. I think ratings would tank if he was a top guy. Upper mid-card is his ceiling. I don't think so. They've just booked him strangely where he's almost like a main event jobber right now. Which is strange because McIntyre is so good that you don't want to put him in that position because then he just goes into chosen one status and then he goes into 3MB like he did before. You don't. McIntyre, I think, needs to win the Universal Championship, have a decent reign with it, and then maybe at some point, I know Mahal just moved to SmackDown, but they need to do like a 3MB reunion. I think that would get a pop, believe it or not, doing a 3MB reunion. I think it'd be cool, personally. All right, well, you guys saw on the previous video, because I had to start a new stream because I'm having all sorts of streaming issues today. I've had audio issues, my webcam wasn't working, all sorts of stuff. But still, I got a donation. I got to spend the Wheel Pen Cent twice for the $20 donation. So, you want another spin of the Wheel Pen Cent? I want to give away a shirt on the stream. That's my ultimate goal, is to give away a shirt, or 2, or 6, I don't care. Give away a shirt on the stream. $10 for a spin of the Wheel Pen Cent. And as you can see, any more than $10, if you want to donate $20, you get 2 spins. 30, you get 3. 40, you get 4. So on and so forth. I've seen crazy amounts of money being donated on streams. So follow your heart. I want to give away a shirt on a stream so bad. Mr. Anderson, do you think Andrade will be the next person to take the Intercontinental title from Balor? I don't know. They seem to have a nice feud going, but you might have Andrade and Money in the Bank. You might have Balor and Money in the Bank too, even as Intercontinental Champion. I don't know. I think it's too soon to take the titles off the people that just won them at WrestleMania, but Balor was only Intercontinental Champion for a couple weeks before Lashley took it from him, and then Lashley lost it right back to Balor. So I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. Infamous Chris, current thoughts on Sasha? I want her to come back. I think Sasha needs to come back and have a solid heel run, because if people don't like her anyway, they're going to boo her. So take that and run. Give her a solid women's championship reign, like more than one pay-per-view. Seriously, have her win Money in the Bank, cash in on Becky, super over heel, have her continuously beat Becky, frustrate her, and I don't know, give the chance for somebody up and coming to take the title from Sasha. Give her a long, lengthy title reign. Make her happy. Mike D, do you think Cena will break Flair's record? He might just stay at 16. I don't know if anybody is actually going to break the record. And with Cena's lack of in-ring time the last couple of years, I'd almost rather have Flair come back and take the record back from him. Flair would probably still go, even at 70 years old. Why not? I mean, Moolah won a title in her 70s, right? Why not give Flair another run at a world championship? Have him win it and then lose it right back a couple days later. Why not? Make Flair a 17-time world champion. That's what I think. All right. So, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about some of the stuff I do. So, sarcastic commentary. I was thinking about bringing it to Riff's channel, but I'd like to get it built up over on my channel again. YouTube.com/luckofthedraw, right here. So go subscribe to that if you want to see the first couple episodes. I'm planning on uploading a few more episodes of that this week. Probably tonight, honestly, once I get done with this. Throwing a couple episodes of that online because they're funny. It's funny stuff. It's bad backyard wrestling with like Mystery Science Theater 3000 commentary. It's hilarious. And I don't put over a bunch of my stuff that I do is funny, because there's a lot of stuff that I do is like, okay, I think it's kind of funny, but like it doesn't like actively make me laugh out loud. I just think it's silly. I think it's goofy. But this stuff actually makes me laugh out loud. It's hilarious. So I think you guys would enjoy that. I also think that you guys would enjoy my video game series I'm doing about WrestleMania 2000. If you like following the wrestling stuff on this channel, I'm doing a gaming series where I'm playing through the Road to WrestleMania mode there. So I think you'd enjoy that. If you want something other than wrestling, I got it on there too. And going back to wrestling, I got backyard wrestling videos from way back in the day with me and the group of guys I used to do backyarding with. Many, many years ago, still in high school. A couple of them in college. But it was before we started training and actually got into a regular ring. So go check those out. I also got my game show Luck of the Draw over there, hence the name of the channel. Right here, youtube.com/Luck of the Draw, streamlabs.com/Luck of the Draw 1. So yeah, I think you guys would enjoy that stuff. I really do. I try to put out a bunch of stuff that I think people will like, and I think that was part of my problem with how upset I was this weekend and how frustrated I was that things were going my way. It's like I'm trying to build something, and while I don't expect it to immediately blow up with like 2 million, 3 million views over the weekend, I just hope for like, I don't know, a couple hundred just to like keep me motivated and keep doing this more. It's like, yeah, hey, I have 1,100 followers and like a fifth of them are watching my stuff. It's like, well, I only have like 10 people watching. It's like, geez, like only 1% of my Twitter followers, like not even 1%, are following what I'm doing. It's kind of frustrating. Uh, my thoughts are below. They should bring back Armando Estrada to manage Andrade. Why? What's wrong with Zelina? I think Zelina did him a favor, honestly. Without Zelina Vega, Andrade is not where he is. He's probably still in NXT or released. Without Zelina Vega, Andrade is not where he is today. And he definitely wouldn't be NXT champion. 42nd Street Matthew. Flair is already really an 18-time champion. WWE just doesn't acknowledge 2 of his WCW reigns. Yeah. Was he? I don't know if he was International World Heavyweight Champion. I know Rude and Sting were. I don't know. Those are probably the reigns that they don't acknowledge. The WCW International World Heavyweight Championship, because it was a fake, made-up title. Yeah, I know Flair has... Some people say Flair has 20 reigns, which is... It's fine. Flair's still better than Cena anyway, and we all know it. Infamous Chris, one more question. I know Batista retired already a few weeks back, but do you see him coming back for one more match for what the fans wanted? Him versus Lesnar? I know it's not really possible now. There's no points. Batista wanted his last match to be against Triple H, just as like a thank you for his entire career. So there's no point in seeing Batista Lesnar. I don't even know at this day and age if I would want to see it. I know Batista could still go. He could still go in the ring. He could still put on an entertaining match. I don't know if I would want to see Lesnar Batista, though. A few years ago, maybe. Now, not so much. Mr. Anderson, why won't WWE let Luke Harper just go? And why did they add 4 months to his contract? Apparently, there's something in there that's, like, in their contracts that say they can add time onto their contract if they were injured. Because they weren't working at the time. I don't know the in-depth details of that, but perhaps they also have something for him. We can only hope that they have something for him, and they're not just going to freeze him out of his contract and not let him work anywhere, because that'd be kind of douchey, but I wouldn't put it past WWE to do that either. I hope they don't do that with him. I hope they use him on TV, but we'll see. Chris Butler says, start off small, then build up. Yeah, and that's all I can do. I'm not expecting my channel to blow up exclusively, but we'll see. 42nd Street Matthew, I think 2 of them may have been from Russo's creative reign in 2000 when Nash gave him the belt or something like that. No, because I think they counted those ones. I'll have to go back and look at the international heavyweight title reigns, because I know Sting and Rick Rude were exchanging the belt there for a bit. I don't know if Flair was involved there or not. It was a very short-lived championship. It was only around for like 2 years. But there was a picture of Rick Rude with a big gold belt around his waist. So, I don't know why they would just completely not include that, because then Rick Rude's a 3-time world champion. But anyway, gotta love WCW. Do you think WWE should have pulled the trigger on Sting versus Undertaker at Mania 31 instead of Sting versus Triple H? You know what was funny? I actually watched something after. I don't remember if it was after WrestleMania or after. It was something that was I was watching live on the network. Might have been Mania or might have been Takeover. I'm not. No, it was the Hall of Fame. It was the Hall of Fame. I was watching the Hall of Fame, and right after that, they were talking about Sting and Undertaker at WrestleMania, and they didn't they didn't do the trigger because apparently Vince didn't want to see Sting versus Undertaker. He never cared for that idea, so I don't think we'll ever get it. Um, but I think it would have been cool if they would have done Sting versus Taker. A lot of people thought in 2011 it was Sting coming to WWE with that like 2/21/11 thing, but it was Taker. And then TNA promptly ripped that off and used it for Sting. 42nd Street Matthew. I think Vader had it too. There were only a few people that did actually have it. But it never gets mentioned as far as World Championship reigns. My thoughts are below. Which do you think was the more underwhelming title reign? Jericho from Vengeance 2001 to Mania 18 or Benoit from Mania 20 to SummerSlam 2004? They were both treated like mid-carders. Probably Jericho's, honestly. I know he was the first ever undisputed champion by beating The Rock and Stone Cold in the same night. But they didn't really do anything with him. I think he main evented No Way Out, but the story there was the NWO. Triple H, yeah, Jericho's title reign was not very good. Benoit's was a little better because he at least had not that The Rock and Stone Cold weren't competition for Jericho, but the matches seemed a little more competitive with Benoit. So I think Jericho had a better reign. All right, so real quick, I'm going to ask you guys to give me a couple minutes. I will return. The stream will still go, and I'll catch up with the comments when I come back. But I just have to run out real quick and do something. So, BRB. I wish I had a video or something I could show. Let me see. I'm going to find a video and show it to you guys. And what that is, I don't know. I'll show you guys a little preview of something I've been working on. Or something from my channel, Game Capture. Let's play WrestleMania 2000. So, here's a little preview of my video on my channel. So, hope you guys in the interim enjoy this. But until I return, you can watch this and comment, and I will return to the stream in just a minute. I don't know what you're seeing. Let me see. There we go. Welcome everybody to the channel. This is a new series that I'm doing. I'm playing WrestleMania 2000 for the Nintendo 64. I've played through this several times before. I was going to reset the cartridge completely, but it turns out I don't have a memory card, so couldn't do that. So I just decided to restart the Road to WrestleMania storyline from the beginning. So I erased all the data that I had. So let's see. Start a new game. And I moved my own character, as you can plainly see, to the beginning. So go on blue, go on red, go on silver, go on black and gold. Kind of like black and gold. I want that one. Now let's find my tag team partner, the one, the only, Travis Fame. The good news dance. Alright, first week of April. Let's get this started. I miss the old Raw intros for this game. It was pretty cool. Too bad they don't give a location. Headbangers versus Austin Hardcore Holly. My very first match is against none other than the Blue Meanie. Got the rules they're all saying. So let's start this match off. Ooh, I get pyro. I get pyro with my intro. That's awesome. I don't even remember what I set for my taunt. I haven't played this in so long. Oh, with the Kim Nash thing. Okay, cool. First time I played this game, it freaked me out so much. Alright, enough of that. Back to me. Hooah! Alright. Yeah, that's a little clip of what you can expect on that channel. What did I miss? Is there an echo? No, sorry. Let's see. Where was I at? Jerry the King Lawler won his 171st World Championship. There was a title match between Flair and Carlos Colon in Puerto Rico. He lost it and got it back. That's what happened with Flair and WCW. Okay. I don't think Jerry Lawler's was his 171st World Championship, or at least not Heavyweight Championship. He won the tag team titles with in NEW. All right. So, Ryan Armstrong, if you have WWE Network, then check out AJ Lee and CM Punk and WWE Network there. Oh, because should AJ Styles win Money in the Bank if he is in the match? Well, he's facing Rollins, so he won't be in that match. Mr. Anderson, I heard Cassius Ohno was supposed to be in the Shield and Roman Reigns spot. Do you think the Shield would have been better with Ohno, or do you like to put Reigns in the spot? I think it worked better with Reigns, but we'll never know, I guess. You'll never know if it would have worked with him in that spot. Michael Gonzalez, will you ever do a GM mode playthrough? I'm hoping when Travis, Cherry versus Neri, when he comes up, I want to do a GM mode playthrough with him, and I want to do it. I have SmackDown vs. Raw 2006, 2007, and 2008, so I have all the games with GM mode. So that's not a problem. It's just getting him up here to can a few episodes before, I do want to do it, though. It's just getting people over here to do it. Because if I did it by myself, it wouldn't be as fun, in my opinion. Because I could do GM mode by myself, but facing off against the computer, it'd be kind of ridiculous. Alberto 032973 says push Randy Orton. I'm sure he'll be fine. Matt, I'll need to check out that video. I saw that you sent it to me, but I'll have to check out that video a little later. All right, so we are a couple hours. I know it hasn't been long in this particular video. It's probably only been about a half hour, but we are still pushing on. Got a couple spins on this wheel today. Still have not given away a shirt. I'm hoping it was just a $10 super chat. Here we go. Look at that. Look at that beautiful wheel. It's pretty. It's really pretty. With a spin of this wheel, you could win a shirt from my Pro Wrestling Tees store, prowrestlingtees.com/PA Sensation. I got a shirt right here that I'm wearing from it. They're super comfy. Legit. I wear my PWT's store shirts all the time, and they are ridiculously comfortable. So comfortable. Best shirts I own. And it's not just because it's my stuff. Legitimately, uh, some of the most comfortable shirts ever. I love all four of them I got. Even all the no DQ shirts, you can go there and buy some. But for right now, it still eludes me. I was one spot away from giving away a t-shirt earlier. So sad. But we'll get some more spins. That's the goal. Get more spins on the wheel of Pensign as we go along here. Jinder says, Bo Dallas impersonate other wrestlers every week on Raw like Charlie Haas. Bo Dallas just moved to SmackDown, so he'd have to do it there. I like the Charlie Haas gimmick, though, back in the day. And he did a good job with a lot of them. He put his own comedic spin on it, but nobody ever took Charlie Haas seriously anyway. Which was sad because he was such a good wrestler. I fear they're going to do the same thing. You might as well do it with Chad Gable if you're going to do it with anybody else, because Chad Gable's funny. He's a funny dude. And he can also wrestle. So he might as well be putting that gimmick if you're going to do it with anybody. Mr. Anderson, I've always liked Eli Drake as a wrestler. Do you ever think WWE would sign him? Eli Drake. Possibly. I mean, WWE probably has their eyes on a lot of people, whether they work on Impact, Ring of Honor, New Japan, any of the indies. They probably got their eye on quite a few people. I'm surprised they haven't scooped up Jeff Cobb yet, but I think he just signed with ROH not too long ago. But Jeff Cobb feels like a guy that would be... He would fit well in NXT and on the WWE main roster. I figure Keith Lee would do better than he has, but we'll see. Time will tell on Keith Lee. He's a great big man. He's got a lot of potential, but we will have to see it from there. So, I've been playing WWE Champions 2019, the mobile game, a lot lately. And I don't know, I've been getting into it quite a bit more, as you can plainly see. This is another game that I think I'd like to stream, because there are a lot of people that play it. A lot of people that play it. Ooh, my faction hit another award, sweet. Ooh, I got another milestone, yes. I think I should do a stream on WWE Champions. What do you guys think? I just have to connect my phone to do all the setup and whatnot. But I think it'd be a fun time. You guys will have to let me know if you want me to do the WWE Champions stream thing, because I probably do that on my channel as well. Just for fun. Got more shards of the man. That's what I'm talking about. So let me know if you guys want me to do that, because I would like to do more stuff like that. Jinder Maharaja. I always like Garrett Bischoff as a wrestler. I'd like WWE to sign him. Is he still doing anything? Alberto's asked. I haven't seen anything on Garrett Bischoff since he was in TNA. Your thoughts on Renee Young on commentary? I like Renee. Like, she brings realism to the broadcast, I think. Especially when she called Dean Ambrose matches. I know it's her husband. She's like more invested in that. But I like Renee's take on stuff. She's very relaxed, and I actually like that. I like her style of commentary. Maybe I'm just different, but her and Graves work together so well. They just play off of each other, and I know it's because they're best friends, like in real life. So I like the dynamic that they have. I think if it was Tom Phillips, Corey Graves, and Renee Young on Raw, I think that would be a solid team. I really do. I like Tom Phillips. Walrus 373. Greg, how did you meet your wife, and when did you realize she was the woman you would marry? I met her in college. We had a class together, and it wasn't immediate. She gave me Twizzlers, so giving me food always helps. Um, and then we didn't really talk when we were in the class together. Um, and then just like we worked some festival type thing um, in college, like months later, and we were trying to set up things with red duct tape, which did not hold things together as well as it should have. It was kind of cheap and chintzy, and we both made fun of it the entire time. And then, like a couple weeks later, we started talking, and then we decided to go out on a date. The date went pretty well. It was also the last time I shaved my head because she told me she hated it. Um, so I looked ridiculous on the first date, but it's okay. And then, we dated. It was good for a few months, and then I don't know. It just felt right. And then, um, close to the end of the year, I actually held a ring box and a roll of red duct tape because that was one of the first things we joked about. And I proposed to her where that festival was. And we got married a year and a half later, and we've been together. We've been together as a couple almost 10 years. So I normally don't talk about my wife on these streams because she doesn't like to be on camera or anything. Um, but there you go. Mr. Anderson. So I've also heard Jeff Hardy is injured. Who do you see the Hardys dropping the SmackDown Live titles to if Jeff Hardy's injury is very serious? They may just strip him of the titles and have like a battle royal or a tournament or something like that. You got enough teams on SmackDown, you might as well throw it out there. Alberto, I would like to see Eric Bischoff inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. I think so too. I would like to see that also. I'd like to hear Bischoff's speech, personally. They probably won't do a similar setup like they did for this year's, just to keep the crazies out. I don't know what's wrong with some people attacking Bret Hart at the Hall of Fame. It was ridiculous. Jinder Maharaja, will the Undisputed Era invade like the Nexus? I don't think so. I don't think they will. But if you watch NXT, there seems to be a little dissension with the Undisputed Era. So they might not even make it to the main roster in one piece. We'll have to see. But just watch NXT, stay tuned, and see what happens there to see if Undisputed Era stays together. Alberto, who would you like to see Eliminated Chamber at WrestleMania 36? You're asking if I would like to see an Elimination Chamber at WrestleMania 36? Because, I mean, an Elimination Chamber at Mania would be cool. And this goes back to another one of my rants, and I'm going to go on a rant for a little bit. I hate the fact that they have themed pay-per-views, like Hell in a Cell, TLC, Elimination Chamber, stuff like that. I understand the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble match always surrounds the pay-per-view. That happens every year. But that one has a point. That one always has had a point before all the themed pay-per-views came in. You don't just have them. You don't just have Elimination Chamber. Like, you don't just say, like, hey, your match is in the Elimination Chamber. Woohoo. It's like, there's no build-up to that whatsoever. It's like, matches are going to happen in the Elimination Chamber. It's not a surprise. It was a bigger deal when those type of matches happened outside of the theme pay-per-views, because then you would have a bigger build to it. It felt more important. But when you just give those away on pay-per-view with no build, you have TLC matches. With a TLC pay-per-view especially, you have ladder matches, you have table matches, you have chairs matches, you have TLC matches, all on the same show. It's like, not all these matches need this type of stipulation, but you're forcing it on them because of the fact that it is the pay-per-view. You have like 3 or 4 Hell in a Cell matches in one night. It's like, come on, just, if you want to have a Hell in a Cell match, like, if you want to end a feud in a perfect way, instead of just throwing it in there because you just happen to be at that particular pay-per-view, Just do it that way. Just I hate. I don't care for those pay-per-views. I don't. Use those matches to either end a feud or like to build a big match or something like that. Don't use them because they just happen to fall in there, and then you're just forcing stipulations on matches that don't need it. It's my opinion. Rant over. All right. Jinder is asking, will the Attitude Era return? Probably never. Depends on what Fox wants to do, though. They apparently want more edgy TV, so we'll see what happens. Depends. Are they going to go with their advertisers, or are they going to go with a $1 billion deal with Fox? We'll see. King of the Ring return, King Miz, Queen of the Ring, Queen Charlotte. The King of the Ring tournament is one of the exceptions to the pay-per-views that I was talking about, like the Rumble. The King of the Ring tournament, or the Queen of the Ring tournament, whichever way they decide to go, I think would be a good idea on the main roster. I understand they do the Mae Young Classic, which is another women's tournament, but to do like a King of the Ring type tournament where you do all the matches in one night, that would be good. They don't have pay-per-views like that anymore, and they should. Even if they just do like a network special on it, it doesn't even have to be like a pay-per-view you build up for. You just like advertise it as King of the Ring and make it a network special because you can really throw that on whenever you want. Just throw the King of the Ring event on like a Friday night or something and people will watch it. Alex James. Might be a weird question. You could probably do a whole video on this to really think about, but if you would book Raw for the next 6 months, how would you do it? You can have 4 to 5 pay-per-views and yeah, that would have to take an entire video. That might take a video series of how I would book Raw. That might be a GM mode type thing, honestly. I know the GM mode is something I talked about doing with Travis, but fantasy booking, I need to find one of those like fantasy booking programs. We used to have a couple computer programs, like, oh, what was it? I don't remember the name of it. Like Extreme Warfare Revenge. Does anybody remember that game? I wanted to find that somewhere, and then there was another one that was like you could fantasy book your own federations and like put people in them, and I don't remember what it is. I wonder. I'll have to find that somewhere because I'd like to do one of those fancy booking things again. Because I don't think they get talked about anymore. I don't even know if Extreme Warfare Revenge even gets made anymore. Um, but yeah, that'd be fun. You would need an entire video to do it. If I went on and on for the stream, you'd be seeing me talk about it for a long time. Mr. Anderson, are you tired of the authority angle in WWE? The McMahons versus Roman on SmackDown? Because I think the authority is overused. Yeah, I mean, the authority angle was fun 20 years ago, but you don't need to do the authority angles anymore. They're not as meaningful. There's nobody buys into it anymore. It's kind of forced. Nobody in the world believes that Vince McMahon hates Roman Reigns. Everybody believed that Vince McMahon hated Stone Cold back in the day. It's different eras. Like you have to build that there is legit beef with these people for people to be invested in the match. And there's very little of that today. I know the social media era is probably a lot of cause of that, but you figure how well Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda was built up over social media because you believed that they hated each other. So you wanted to see them beat the crap out of each other. They did very well on that aspect. And with that like arresting angle on the Raw before Mania. That's how you build a feud. You make them believe like they legit hate each other and they want to tear each other apart. Just my opinion. Halloween Havoc, Miz dresses up as Hulk Hogan. You know, I was always hoping that, I know WWE would do this. I know the New Day dresses up for Halloween every year. I think that like an indie federation should do and I'd do this if I ever owned one. They should do like a Royal Rumble of indie guys dressed up as like popular stars, and maybe like throwing like one or two actual stars in there just to throw people off. Um, but they should do like a Halloween Royal Rumble where people are dressed up as other people. They do all their moves and all their stuff, and it'd just be fun. It'd just be a fun time, like a fun Halloween show. I don't know. That'd be my. I want to do that. Kuma 138. The McMahon stopped protecting the business, and now they wonder why no one watches. Um, yeah, it's a good point. They did stop protecting the business. So, I'm hoping that you guys enjoyed the WrestleMania 2000 video. You can find that video on my YouTube channel. Um, YouTube.com/LuckyTheDraw. Right here. Right here. You can find that video there. And hopefully you find what... that's a terrible deal. Hopefully you enjoy the videos like I have. I'm really hoping you do. Because like I said, I like doing these live streams, but I also like creating some content. It's harder to do when I don't have a ton of resources around me, but I'm trying to work with what I got. I may do some more gaming. I have a Twitch channel that I've barely used, twitch.tv/Pensen Gaming, PENNSEN Gaming, all one word. So there's that too. But mostly I want to get the YouTube channel off the ground. I know it says I have like 800 subscribers there, but I feel like if I could build that into something, not that I want to rival Up Down Down because I don't have a shot to do that. There's way too much exposure, way too much content there, and it's not my full-time job. That'd be cool, but it's not my full-time job to help like create content and stuff. And if it was, I'd definitely be putting a lot more resources into it. We've got to move that over there for incentive. I want to land on the t-shirts. I want to give away t-shirts. That's the goal. That's the goal with this. Mr. Anderson, do you see Xavier Woods turning heel on Kofi when Big E returns? I don't know. I really don't know. If any member of the New Day turned on the New Day, I wanted it to be Xavier. Because Big E is like this. Big E is obviously the big strong guy of the group. Kofi's like the super over babyface. I feel like I've made this comparison before. Xavier Woods is the Seth Rollins of the New Day. As far as remember when the Shield broke up, Seth Rollins was kind of in the background. Everybody was focused on Ambrose. Everybody was focused on Reigns. Not too many people were focused on Seth Rollins. I think it could work somewhat in that same vein. Keep getting asked if Corbin comes out of the Lake of Reincarnation, what gimmick? Well, he couldn't come back with hair. He shaved it all off. He says Woken Matt Hardy as Raw GM. That would be interesting. I know he just went to SmackDown too, but Woken Matt Hardy as running either of the shows, which they don't even have general managers anymore. But say we're the authority. So they say there is no authority figures, but we know that's a lie. There aren't any general managers anymore. There aren't any of that. Alberto says, I enjoyed Kevin Owens' heel turn so far. How about you? Well, Kevin Owens as a heel was always solid business. I was hoping his babyface run would last a little bit longer, but it wasn't to be. I wonder if Big E's injury had anything to do with um, pushing Kevin Owens into that spot. And it's probably because Daniel Bryan's not available that they pushed Kevin Owens into that spot as well. I just kind of wish that the Owens babyface run could have lasted a little longer because I enjoyed the sarcastic, goofy Kevin Owens. I always have. Watch his like Panda Express promo with Johnny Gargano back in the day. It was when they worked the Indies. Alberto, would you like to see an NXT video game? Um, I don't know if you can do a video game just on the NXT guys. I'd like to see more NXT involvement in the current WWE games because they don't place as much of a focus on that. They place more focus on the main roster than they do with NXT. But you have to show some respect for those NXT guys because, I mean, NXT guys are supposed to be the future of the WWE. It's supposed to be a third brand. So I can imagine if they did like a GM mode type thing with Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, it's a little unfair. It's a little because you have Raw is 3 hours, SmackDown's 2 hours, NXT is 1 hour, plus the various takeovers. It would almost be an unfair advantage to Raw and SmackDown. New Jack joins New Day replacement for Big E. No, New Jack should be nowhere near a WWE ring. I'm surprised he's even still alive. New Jack was actually at an indie show I was at once, and I like had to make sure I kept my distance from him because I've heard stories of how crazy New Jack is, and I did not want to be in his way. I don't know. Mr. Anderson says Matt Hardy's drone versus Mercy the Buzzard at WrestleMania. Oh my. Dinosaur in a box, as Chris Ross would have said. Um, no, Vanguard 1 does not need to compete in a match versus a puppet. No. We'll even see if that's still a thing come. I'm interested to see what they do on Raw, if they continue with the Firefly Funhouse at all. Kuma138. When KO turns on Kofi, he should do a one-line promo. Go to the ring and say, what do you think was going to happen, and drop the mic. Yeah, nobody should be surprised that Kevin Owens turned. And something like that would make sense. But Owens typically gives more of a response than that. 42nd Street Matthew. From interviews I've seen, New Jack is insanely likable and absolutely terrifying. I would agree with that second part. I would not want to mess with New Jack ever. Especially, I've never seen the mass transit incident. I've heard of it. I've heard of what he did. I blame the kid, honestly, for stepping into an ECW ring, saying he was trained. He wasn't even of age. And he gets into a ring with friggin' New Jack. I know he passed away like a few years later because he was. Ugh. But when you live in infamy because New Jack like sliced your head open and you just like bled like a faucet, is that really the legacy you want to leave? Was it worth lying about your age to do? I don't even know if ECW got sued for that. I'd have to watch the Rise and Fall of ECW DVD, which I think I still have somewhere. I'd have to look. Y2Way, such a shame that NoDQ has become so obsessed with super chats and money. I hope all the money Riff gets for his shows, he actually pays some of his staff, because if not, that's shit. I actually do make money off of this. if you're wondering. Um, like the super chats, I do get some of the money. I do give Rift a little bit just because he's hosting the video on his channel, so I think that's only fair. But I do make the majority of the money from these live streams. It's not a lot, but hey, any little bit helps, especially with all the crap I've been through in the last week. So if you were ever wondering, like, Rift does not hoard all the money with the super chats for my streams. I actually do get something from this. I'm not just making money for Aaron. But all the videos he does, he makes money off of that. I've made some money off of WTC too, but that's a different story. So yeah, Y2 Woody, if you donate like a super chat or something, or if anybody donates a super chat or something, I do get to see some of it. So I do get some kickback for doing these. Alberta says Bray Wyatt's new character looks interesting. I'm like I said, I'm interested to see how they progress with it. Can't judge it all off of 1 week. If he continues doing the funhouse thing, then we know that's his gimmick going forward. He could just jump all over the place. Mr. Anderson, do you think every week on Raw, Sami Zayn going to keep telling us the WWE fans to go to hell? Probably. They're probably just doing it to A, keep him on TV, and B, figure out somebody for him to feud with. Somebody's eventually got to say, be like, hey, what's your deal? Obviously with better promo skills than that. But somebody's got to call Sami out, and then they're going to start a feud, and then... Because you figure Sami hasn't wrestled since he came back the night after WrestleMania. What were you saying about Baron Corbin coming out of the Lake of Reincarnation? I was saying he wouldn't grow his hair back. Unless they, like, pasted some on. Comes back out for his old theme. Because people seem to like Corbin back when he had the old theme and stuff. Which is weird because his new theme is so much better. But once he shaved his head and became corporate, everybody's like, oh, Corbin sucks. He's terrible. He's so boring. Blah, 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 blah. I don't get the hate surrounding Corbin. I really don't. Drink a little bit more water. I have no idea what that accent was. But yeah. So I hope you guys are enjoying the stream so far. I would like to get one more spin of this thing. I want to give away another t-shirt so bad. Like, honestly, like, I know I had the spins earlier. But I really want to give away another t-shirt. I think it'd be so cool. Like, one of you guys sends in a super chat and, like, I can just give away one of my shirts and you get, like, a super discounted rate. Because I used to do $20 just because of the price of the shirts, but, like, doing the $10 shirts, it's like you guys get so much better out of the deal for doing that. So, like, if you send in $20 and I landed on shirt twice, get 2 shirts. Typically costs like $40 plus shipping. So, you guys have went out really well in that deal. Plus, I want to get more shirts sold because if I do, I can come up with more designs. And then I can have, like, just an entire wardrobe of nothing but my shirts. And it would be awesome. Because these shirts are so freaking comfy. Like I said, I wear them so often. They're probably a little faded, honestly. Like, as many times as I've had to wash them. The Keep Comment sensation on one. Ryan L. Hey, Greg, please share your weekly podcast routine with us. What wrestling podcasts do you get down with on the regular? Not as many as I'd like to, honestly. The Reaction Room Wrestling Podcast is one I consistently listen to. Go to the reactionroom.com to listen to them. Good community, too. A lot of good people there. Ridiculous people. We talk about so much ridiculous stuff there. But they have a Patreon too. You can find all that stuff there. That was one of the big podcasts I listened to, and they talk for like 2-3 hours about so many random things. But Chris and Natalie are so ridiculously funny, so good. So I recommend that one. It's not like one of the big popular wrestling podcasts like Jericho or Austin or anything like that, but that's one of them. I've been listening to more of the ENC Pod of Awesomeness too. I enjoy a lot of stuff of what they do. They're ridiculous too. Edge and Christian are just so funny together. Um, so that's another one I checked out. I've listened to 83 Weeks before. I've listened to episodes of Talk is Jericho. I've listened to Austin's podcast. Um, those are just a few of them. I don't listen to Meltzer if he does a podcast. I don't even know because I don't care. I don't listen to any of these so-called experts like Alvarez or anything like that. I don't listen to them because I don't care. I really don't. And they think they know better than anybody else. I've challenged them to Wrestling Trivia Challenge, and they didn't answer the call, so they fear me. That's something else. If I give away enough shirts, I am making a Meltzer Fierce Cherry shirt and putting it on Pro Wrestling Tees. And I hope those sell well. Because I've challenged him to Wrestling Trivia Challenge, and he completely ignores me. So it's like, hey, I believe I know more about wrestling than you do, and I want to prove it. And he says nothing, because he knows he'd lose. He would lose. Badly. 42nd Street Matthew, Cornette's podcast. That's fantastic. I can only imagine how much stuff Cornette says. Oh boy. Like, I was actually amazed WWE let him on the Hall of Fame ceremony. I know it was to induct the Rock and Roll Express, but even still. Bobby Hines, will Lacey Evans have a good match with Becky Lynch at Money in the Bank? I hope so. I hope it's a good showcase match. But it also may be a thing where they put the Charlotte match on first and Becky's incredibly tired. Lacey Evans punches her in the face and does a moonsault and wins the title. So I can see that happening, since she has to defend both titles. Alberto, do you think Nigel McGuinness comes up to the main roster to maybe replace Michael Cole? I don't see Nigel as a main commentary guy, as far as like play-by-play goes. He's a good killer, man. I see them putting like a broadcast type person. I could see them putting Tom Phillips up there. I don't think Mora wants the schedule. He'll probably stay in NXT, which is fine. He does very well with NXT. But it would probably be Tom Phillips if anybody replaced Cole. Ryan L says, I'll check that out. I dig the Lapsed fans in-depth features on each show, but I also love Cornette's 83 Weeks and STW, but not really WHW. Yeah, like I said, Chris and Nat are two Scots, I should say. They're both from Glasgow, and they are ridiculous with they've done reaction videos for like 3 years now, and they're complete nuts. Y2 Woody, Lacey Evans is dog shit. Becky Lynch is also dog shit, to be fair. That Mania main event finish was just abysmal. Watching it with girlfriend, she was like, what the hell was that? Yep, embarrassing. That one was on the ref, too. It wasn't as much on Ronda. I think it was just natural instinct to get the shoulder up, but the referee counted even though the shoulder went up. It was just a weird way to go about the finish. I don't agree with the finish as far as how it went down. I think something more clear-cut for the Mania main event would have made more sense as opposed to a surprise. Ginger, you and Baron Corbin and the Lake of Reincarnation. You got a little obsessed there, aren't you? I'm really excited, Matt, to check out that video of that match. I really am. And by the way, if anybody has any like backyard wrestling matches that they want to send me, preferably ones without any commentary on them, send them my way. Please send them my way. And because I could use all the backyard matches that I can. I would love to jumpstart the sarcastic commentary series again. I may do like a preview episode if I give it to Rift or something and see if you guys like it. To be like, hey, put this on the channel. Because one of the things I do is whenever I have my normal commentary partner up here, we always come up with ridiculous names. So we never go by Greg Cherry. Like, I never go by Greg Cherry. I always pick some ridiculous name, and I change it every time. Because that's like it's a running gag. I change the name every time. He changes his name every time. But we talk like we all know each other all the same. And it's just ridiculous. We like to make fun of those types of matches. So if you'd like me to send Rift one of the sarcastic commentary videos to put on the No DQ channel, it's like a preview for my channel, I'll talk to him and see if he'd let me do that. It's a lot of fun. I think it'd be a lot of fun. What's up, Zach? How you doing? Y2 Woody, have you seen the Undertaker pics from Liverpool Con this weekend? Guy looks so miserable and wearing a hoodie and beanie. Like, dude, you're charging OTT prices for these fans. Can you look kind of happy? It might just be his face anymore. I don't really see the Undertaker smiling. Plus, you figure he's like, Undertaker's got to be in his 50s. He's got to be. I haven't seen any pictures of him from the Liverpool Con. He's apparently doing like some European tour. So yeah, I do want to get more views on the sarcastic commentary. So I'm gonna talk to Aaron, see if he'd be willing to post a video. I'll put some stuff in there for my channel to get some plugs, just for something different for the No DQ channel too. Because it'd be ridiculous to be like backyard wrestling and stuff on there, but I think that would drive, even if only a few people, to my channel. It'd be good. I'd like to continue that series because I had a blast doing that. It's a lot of talking and it's a lot of water drinking, but I like making fun of stuff, especially when I know it's bad. Y2 Woody puts a link in here, so let me see. That guy's creepy. Undertaker's got to make his money somehow, I guess. Right now, is it on YouTube right now? I have a couple on my YouTube channel. The sarcastic commentaries. I don't have any on Rift's channel. But I do have a couple on mine. I need to figure out which one I'd want to give him to. Because there's so many, there's quite a few good ones. But, like, I don't want to give him ones that are just too good. I want to save those ones for my channel. I don't know. I'll talk to him, see if he'd want to even put it up on the channel. Stinky Toffee 12, watching from the UK. Enjoy the vids. Hoping Andrade wins Money in the Bank. That'd be cool. I imagine Andrade winning Money in the Bank. It might not be this year, maybe next year. Mr. Anderson, do you think that EC3 shouldn't have been called up to the main roster so soon because he's been buried by Braun? Yeah, EC3 had no business coming up as fast as he did. He had like 2 takeover matches and then was called up. Yeah, there was no need for him to come up that fast. Jinder Maharaja, which wrestler should bring back old personas? I think Baron Corbin. You're all about Baron Corbin today. I mean, I'm a Corbin guy too, but if I'm gonna bring back old personas for anybody, it would probably be who do I bring it back for? I was glad that Cena came out as Thugonomics Cena. That was cool at WrestleMania. Back in the top chat, jeez. I'll watch one after this right now. Then give me one recommendation I promise to follow through on. I have to look to see even which ones I have up there. I have the two I have up there are both like Rumble type matches. One of them is like 40 minutes long. Another one I did as the voice of Strong Bad from. Do you remember the Homestar Runner days? The character Strong Bad who did like the Strong Bad emails. I did one as his. I need to upload more to give you more of a selection. I'll have to get back to you on that, Ryan. I'll have to upload some more, and then I'll be able to give you a better option of what to choose. Y2 Woody, best TV show of all time, Sherry. Sopranos for me, immense. I can't really give a good answer to that because there's a lot of good TV series that I have not watched. As far as the ones I have watched, I'm more of a sitcom guy myself than like a dramatic TV show. As far as sitcoms go, Parks and Rec is a good show. My wife and I are watching it through for like the third or fourth time. How I Met Your Mother was good until the series finale. And then the series finale completely Sasha and Bailey'd the finale. I don't know. 42nd Street Matthew. EC3, in my opinion, is more of a main roster guy since NXT is more about work rate. The way he's been buried on the main roster is fucking criminal. I agree. I don't get why he's even on the roster if he's just going to be buried and just be completely not utilized. Why would you even call him up? Just keep him on NXT. Let him do like mid-card stuff there. Keep him involved. I don't know who he pissed off. Jinder says different strokes. Mr. Anderson says old personas. Mark Henry is sexual chocolate. I don't even think he's on TV anymore. I think he's just a backstage guy now. But he did bring back sexual chocolate for like an old school Raw a few years ago. Ryan Else says, although not my choice one, my favorite TV series always goes back to The West Wing. I don't know, just my input. Only saw a couple episodes of The West Wing. I've seen several episodes of Law and Order because it's on all the time. Like I said, I can watch drama shows. They're just not at the top of my list of stuff to watch. I don't have enough time to watch all this TV anyway. Like, I barely have enough time. The last couple weeks, I've actually been able to watch Raw live, which is weird. I probably made more of an effort because it was the Raw after Mania and the Superstar shakeup. But other than that, it was like, Alberto said, who should wrestle Kurt Angle at his final match instead of Baron Corbin? Well, I think Corbin was a good choice. Everybody hated it, but it was going to benefit Corbin more than it was going to benefit a guy like Cena. I understand everybody wanted Cena in that position just because Cena or Angle was Cena's first match, so Cena should be Angle's last match. It made sense, but at the same time, Kurt Angle was not 2003 Kurt Angle. He could not wrestle that same style of match. So they put him against Corbin, and Corbin got the win, and Corbin needed the win against Angle more than Angle needed the win against Corbin. Aaron Stevens' old persona from 2002. And what would that have been, Jinder? Okay. So I've been going about 2.5 hours, depending on tech issues and whatnot. But give me one quick second. Y2 Woody, how has Dash Wilder not been arrested or charged for what happened at the Hall of Fame? I can't stand Marks who say it was cool. He uppercut the guy who was held by many guys. Bullshit, he didn't get done. Um, to be fair, that fan shouldn't have jumped the rail in the first place. And there's like an unwritten rule in the wrestling business where if a fan jumps the rail, they are fair game. So it wouldn't be the first time a wrestler beat up a fan for crossing the line. And especially in a setting like that, against a guy who's had a stroke, he's dealt with cancer. I mean, there was no reason to attack Bret Hart. I'm glad the guys jumped him when they did, and he deserved to be punched in the face. If Dash Wilder had a punishment, was losing the tag team titles, the next night? Or 2 nights later? Whatever it was. But it's a written rule. It's like you don't wish violence upon the guy, but at the same time, you don't. If you're going to cause chaos to something like that, if you're going to jump a guy who's a Hall of Famer just to do it, and he seemed to have no remorse either. Like the guy was mentally disturbed. So you want to put a prevention to like that because he could have done way worse. If nobody would have jumped in the ring to help Bret, Bret might not even be alive right now. He might have had like some sort of. He might have had like a seizure or something. Bret is not a young guy. If it was like 1992 Bret would have pounded the crap out of him. But being it was 2019 Bret Hart, who's suffered the medical traumas that he has, he's lucky all the wrestlers were there. Was it a cheap shot? Maybe, but he shouldn't have been there in the first place. Mr. Anderson says no one should ever attack a WWE superstar that way he did Bret. Yeah, like I said, once you jump the rail, you are fair game. You're putting yourself in that situation, so anything that happens to you, you deserve. It's the way it is. I don't condone fans jumping the rail at wrestling shows. Because it's not their business. It's like you're there to enjoy an event. If you try to make yourself part of the event, you will not like how it ends for you. Because as much as like the kayfabe happens where like there's bad guys against good guys, that locker room is a brotherhood. You do not mess with somebody's family. Because that family will protect you. And you will not like how it feels. Guy should have never done it. Y2 that is a stupid defense. That wrestling world does not transcend the raw. Wrestling fans out of the bubble. 2 wrongs don't make a right. Don't stoop down to his level. The police ordered him. The police didn't get there till like 2 minutes after the fact that he jumped. So if you want to wait for the police to get there, who just casually walked over there and let the wrestlers handle it, I mean, that's... I don't agree with that. I don't. And it's the same way for any sports or like any sort of thing. Would you want somebody jumping up on the Oscars and like attacking some of the actors? Would that be okay? Like let the police handle them? The police aren't always there, like immediately. Stuff like that you can't prevent. Bret was fortunate that the wrestlers were there to protect him because the police were just casually walking up and before the police, Dash Wilder punched the guy in the face before the police even got there. That was like 2.5, 3 minutes later. If the police would have taken that long, it'd be like, oh, police should have done their job better and protected him from jumping over the rail in the first place. That's all I'm saying. 42nd Street Matthew, have you ever had any scary experiences with fans? I haven't, fortunately. I did work the Indies briefly. I never had any issues with fans wanting to come after me. I was a heel for most of my run, but I never had a problem with fans coming after me or wanting to attack me or jumping in the ring. Never had a problem with it, fortunately. We had very respectful fans who just enjoyed the show as it was, got to boo me and boo all the other bad guys and cheer all the good guys and whatever the case may be. But never had any problems with fans. Very lucky in that sense. Because all it takes is one crazy guy. And one crazy guy could, like, come in there with, like, a knife or something, and it could be incredibly dangerous. The guy should have been nowhere near the ring if the police would have done their job. That's my point. The fact they got past, and there was no response from them until, like, 5 minutes after the fact. If the wrestlers wouldn't have jumped in the ring, Brett could have been dead. Because I love Natalia, but I don't know how much she would have been able to do. Because the guy was an MMA fighter who jumped him. I see what you're saying, that you should have punched him, like, after the fact. Like, if he would have been fighting, maybe, but they were already taking him off. I can see your point maybe to that. But in the same breath, you never should have jumped around in the first place. That's all I'm saying is in regards to that. But there have been instances, especially where fans jump the rail. I mean, think of Eddie Guerrero and Van Dam. A fan jumped the rail, shoved Eddie off the ladder, which could have been incredibly dangerous, and Eddie punched the guy in the face. Triple H and Stone Cold had like a house show match. Some guy tried to jump the ring, and Triple H and the referee kicked the crap out of him. There was a fan who jumped in the ring when the NWO was first formed, and he got the crap kicked out of him too. I mean, you don't jump the rail. You risk that injury. It's plain and simple. Some people, I know I'm the Wrestling Trivia Challenge champion. I know we do all this wrestling discussion. I know that stuff. But some people take wrestling to the point so seriously that it messes with their heads. And it's not just wrestling. It could be anything. They could become obsessed with certain things. They could, like, obsessively hate certain things about certain people, and they want to cause harm to those people. That's not okay. Like, it's not okay that guy jumped the ring. It's not going to be condoned by me in any sense of the word. But they're probably not going to have the Hall of Fame set up like that. They might not have fans be in the Hall of Fame at all. They might just have like a small ceremony and just shoot the footage somewhere. But they might not have fan involvement, or they might just up their security. I don't know what they're going to do next year. But there is still absolutely no reason that guy should. Your opinion on Dash Wilder, whether or not he should have hit the guy? If he wouldn't have jumped the rail, there would have been no need for it. But he needs to learn a lesson to not do that. Because he thought in his mind it was okay to attack Bret Hart. So he needed a lesson. Don't do it. Because apparently that wasn't completely obvious to him. Alright, we need to go. We need to move on to another topic. 42nd Street Matthew, I was just going to mention the ladder incident. Yeah, there were, I'm sure there were even more than that. There were some in WCW that happened too. Mr. Anderson, I feel like they protect in any sport. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, you have fans run on the field for football games, soccer games, baseball games. Probably not as much with hockey because it's ice. And nobody's got to go on there with a full thing of skates. So you don't see it as much in hockey, if at all. I don't even remember the last time I've seen anything like that in hockey. But with like soccer and football and baseball, it just, you don't see it happen. Like, you have to protect the people on the field. Because those crazy people are out for attention. And some people just don't have the decorum. They want to make everything about themselves. They are self-centered people. And they don't care about repercussions. They don't care about anything. They don't care about the law. It's getting a really deep conversation here. But people who are that self-obsessed, who are that focused on wanting to disrupt something, are going to do it regardless of the consequences. Because they don't care about anybody except themselves. Period, end. 42nd Street Matthew. Cornette has a lot of wrestling stories of wrestling riots when fans were literally trying to kill him and the Midnight Express. His tennis racket had a metal horseshoe attached in case anyone jumped him. He also carried a gun. The days of kayfabe, man. I'm telling you. I mean, I've heard stories about how Sergeant Slaughter had armed guards protect his house when he was doing the whole storyline with Hogan, when he was an Iraqi sympathizer. I mean, that was a big deal back in those days. Like, anti-Americanism was a big deal back in 1991. It's not as much now. It's almost commonplace now, which is sad. But, like, stuff like that, it's like, you do not mess with our country. And everybody wanted to see Hogan kick his ass at WrestleMania 7, which he did. And took the title from him. But, like, that pop, nowhere near as big. Like, I kept watching the Rumble, the 91 Rumble, where Slaughter won the title, and how upset people were that he won the title because of his gimmick. And it worked so well for him. It really did. That's all I'm saying. It's like, people need to not take wrestling so seriously. Because stuff like that can happen. Alright. So, any heat, on to another topic. I'm going to keep this stream going for a little bit more. Because I had delays, I had technical issues, and all of that stuff. But I do like the fact that I did get to spin the wheel a couple times today. I appreciate the support, Dawn, when you were on. So that was nice. But the goal is to still give away a t-shirt on here. So if you guys enjoy the streams, I appreciate you guys coming into the streams. They are going to be a consistent time now. I know I've been jumping all over the place, but like I said, those holidays, and that was just a whole bunch of stuff out of my control. They are going to be consistently 3 o'clock on Sundays. Even the Sundays leading up to pay-per-views, I'll be doing this. Hopefully with football season coming up, I'll be doing live streams on my channel, because I know Aaron doesn't want sports stuff on his channel, whatever. I'll be live streaming Notre Dame football, my reactions to it, because I can't obviously stream the game. If you want to watch the game, watch it on TV. But you'll see my reactions to that, which I believe are very entertaining. My wife seems to be very entertained by me. How PO'd I get whenever Notre Dame does something stupid. It would not have been a pretty thing for the Cotton Bowl. But that's another story. Big G! Oh my goodness! Big G is here and gives $10. Big G wants a spin, baby. Alright. That's exciting. Mr. Anderson, I'll get to your question in a bit, but Big G with a $10 donation. We get another spin of the wheel of Penn Sen, baby. Big G, this one's for you. $10 donation. Let's get you another shirt. How about that? That one's like right in the middle. It's like right on the edge. We'll give you another spin. Hold on. Dance break. Oh boy. Okay. All right. Let me find my dance break stuff. I don't even have Chrome pulled up here. But all right. I'm going to bust out one of my dances here. I'm not sure which one I have up here. me see here. BG says, I'll take the shirt. I didn't spin a shirt, bud. I spun Dance Break. Why is Chrome not loading? It hates me. I wonder if my wife's outside mowing grass because it's the first decent weather we've had in like 3 weeks. And our grass is getting bad. Let's see. Show more. Dance Break playlist. What'd I pick? Okay. Alright, here we go. Anybody remember the 7-second dance break? I could do that dance break. I think I'm going to bust out Too Cool instead. As much as I can. You're not going to see me do the worm. Too out of shape to do that. But, in the interim, you can watch me do this. So let me set it up here. Hey, you pause. Alright, so Big G, here is your gift for your $10 super chat. And you missed it last week because I did Baszler's entrance for you. But, here we go. Set this up right. It takes a lot of setup to do this. So, here we go. There you go. Cool. There was your dance break. Cool. So I hope you enjoyed that. Worth the $10. I'm now out of breath. So there you go, Big G. Got another spin of the wheel pen send. Almost hit karaoke too. That would have been interesting. Appreciate it, Curtis. I'm telling you, you guys donating the spins. Give me a couple spins. I like doing this kind of stuff for you. I really do. Like, it's something different than just wrestling discussion. I do all this random other stuff. So if you guys like what you see, spread the word about these streams. I'm going to try and do them a little more consistently. Well, I do them weekly. I'm more consistent with the time, I should say. But, yeah, that was a good one. I haven't done the Too Cool dance for freaking ever. So I hope you guys like that. All right. Alberto, do you ever see Cody Rhodes coming back to WWE? Probably not for a very long time, if he ever does. Because he's just starting up a company in AEW, and if they're successful, he's not going to have any need. Because he'll be running a company, he will be, he won't have any need to come back. He'll be running a company, he'll be having creative control, he'll be working with his friends, he won't have any need to come back to WWE. But If AEW becomes a flop and dies out in 5 years, then maybe. But at the moment, I don't think he needs to. Big Rocker Johnson, do you think Bray will make the gimmick work? If anybody can make that gimmick work, it's Bray Wyatt. It's something different than all the creepy stuff he's done before. It's still got like a little bit of creepy to it, but it's not like full blown. At least not yet. I just hope it's not House of Horrors bad, like I've said before. All right, so we got a couple spins on the wheel, Penson. If you guys like what you see, let your friends know. Tweet at them and be like, hey, Greg Cherry just does goofy dances and tells stories of when he was on the indies. And he also sings songs. I haven't done a karaoke song in like weeks, actually. But I want to. I want to bust out some songs. Appreciate the $10, Big G. Really do. All right. I'm caught up with the chat, so that's pretty cool. Going back to Mr. Anderson's comment, what's your favorite tag team move ever in the WWE? And his is the 3D. 3D is a good one. 3D is a good double team move. I mean, it might be the best one, honestly. I'm actually having a hard time coming up with a better one than the 3D. Because the 3D is so freaking effective that... I don't know. Caitlin Trepka, do you think Sasha Banks will come back? I hope so. I really do. Sasha is too good for WWE to let her go. They just need to see that. They just need to utilize her in the right way. I'm not saying like give her like a 5-year title reign. I'm just saying give her stories that work and not just have her be a bit player. Sasha Banks is way more than a bit player. And I will put Sasha over as many chances as I get. Never met her, don't know her personally, but I've seen what she can do. And she's still one of my favorite women's wrestlers of all time. Personal opinion. Some people don't like it. Some people say that Sasha's too much of a whiny baby or whatever, that she shouldn't come back. It's like, you know what? WWE would be losing a key figure in the women's division if they let Sasha go. As much as they don't want to admit it, it would leave a huge gap in the WWE women's division. One of the main reasons why women's wrestling is even as important as it is today is because of Sasha Banks. Sasha Bayley, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. That match changed the course of women's wrestling. Best women's match I've ever seen. Still to this day. Nothing's beat it. I'm glad you agree with me, Caitlin, because I think Sasha, if they bring her back and she is used correctly, if she has this like amazing run on top, like even if she turns heel, which possibly wins Money in the Bank and cashes in on Becky, that would be a huge deal. That would be a huge deal. Overtake Charlotte as like the main figure. That would be big because as much as Becky and Charlotte is a good feud, I think we're tired of seeing it. We want fresh matches. Mr. Anderson, do you think Chris Jericho will ever be unbanned by Vince? I'm sure. It's because he's working with AEW. Why too Woody doesn't care for Sasha. She's so cringeworthy on the mic. She's also so skinny, and her Eddie shtick is so sycophantic. Her finisher is okay, though. Watch Sasha in NXT. Her main roster stuff is not as good as her NXT stuff. Granted, she had fantastic matches against Charlotte. The entire title feud with them, they had great matches. But her NXT stuff was next level. The fact that they did not use that Sasha Banks on the main roster is mind-boggling. Heel Sasha Banks is money. Period end. Alberto, will Alexa Bliss ever wrestle full-time again? I don't know. depends on if she's ever fully cleared from her injuries. I mean, depending on how serious her concussions were, she may not. But she is still an important factor on WWE TV, and I don't see them. Alexa is a good character on TV, so there's no need to get rid of her. Even if she can't go in the ring, she has her moment of bliss thing. I just heard my wife. Caitlin says yes, her NXT heel is the best ever. I agree. She was so good as NXT heel. All right, so I know it's a little not on time for this, but I think I'm gonna wrap this stream up. I appreciate everybody for watching. It's been a little bit of a cluster today. Summer Rae outshined her totally. Summer Rae never put on a classic match, ever. I would disagree with that. Summer Rae was never a big deal in the women's division, personally. She had a great. She could act like a decent heel, but her in-ring work was left so much to be desired. All right, I'm going to close out this stream. I'm going to go. Hopefully, upload some more of those sarcastic commentary videos to my channel, youtube.com/luckatthedraw. Go check it out over there. Follow me on Twitter at PA Sensation. ProWrestlingTees.com/PA Sensation. Go buy one of my shirts. And I think that's it for me. Appreciate the opportunity to get some spins in today. Hope to see you guys next week at the same time, Sunday at 3 o'clock Eastern. And until next time, that's it for me. Hopefully with a little bit better a little less technical issues. See you guys.